stop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love.
Hi everyone, you're listening to the Brownian Notion. I am Ananya.
And I'm Gogol. Joining us today is my childhood friend, my school classmate, someone I deeply admire and also adore at the same time, Debanjana Mukherjee, also known as Ninni. Welcome to the show. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm good. Thank you so much. And I really am really happy to be a part of the show today.
Thank you for accepting the invitation. We're always looking for interesting stories to tell. I believe you had to work even today, right? You work 6 days a week, right?
Yeah, that's the pattern.
Well, that's a very good segue to what we want to talk about today. So, you kind of have a fancy job. Would you like to tell us a bit more about your job first before we dive into the topic?
So I work in a process plant. To break it down, it would be like a plant which is producing petrochemicals. And we are looking into the instrumentation part of it. That is like the maintenance of the equipments installed in the plant, logic through which that plant is operating. We have to look into the hardware and software side to it. So yeah, it's a physically intensive job. It's not a desk job. You have to move around quite a lot of the day. Yeah, it's fun.
That sounds really interesting. So, let me ask you first off, what was really the motivation? Because it's a male dominated industry, it can be quite daunting, right? So, what was the motivation behind selecting such an industry and deciding to go work for a petrochemical company?
Yeah, so during my undergraduation days, there were quite a number of career options that one could go to after graduating. So during my industrial training, my summer training during my college days, I visited a similar refinery, and when I visited that place, the concept of basic application of physics in solving practical problems, which required clarity of thought as well as deep technical knowledge, it really intrigued me, and I really wanted to work with this in future. And I think at some point also my innate nature to like break stereotype and challenge the rules
Right.
which are etched in the society, that somehow drove me to take this up as a career. Because my experience in that particular plant, there were no women working in the field exactly. So when I interacted with the people working there, the common perception among them were this role is not suitable for women. And somehow it made me feel that their view was because of their own lack of experience of working with women. And that made me
That's a very
feel
good
like
point, actually.
I really don't want to work in a place where there are no other women working because of the inhospitable environment that that situation would create. So when I was looking into options for joining, I really my main motive for joining the company that I am in right now was because that they are an equal opportunity employer. They do not discriminate women with respect to the job allotted based on gender. So for this reason, I came to this company, and I really, till date, thankfully, I've never felt that I am being given a certain kind of job or not being given a certain kind of job because of the fact that I'm a woman.
Interesting. So, overall, what is the general environment like? You said that there are many people who don't have experience of working with women. How does that affect the general work environment on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so when I joined here, I had the fortune of working with the very few women who were in the senior management level. So my first boss, she was a lady, and what I realized is because of her strong technical skills and managerial skills, she was already leading a cross-functional team with a wide range of age groups. So I got to learn a lot of things from her. And secondly, because she was already working in this place for a long time, I didn't have to face those things which I had already felt in my last experience, that people did not have that kind of mentality that, this is not suitable for women or they are not capable of doing such a task. They had already that experience of working under the leadership of women. So they could accept it easily. I never felt discriminated. Another thing that I got working with her was work life balance. I think that's important for all working women irrespective of the sector. but I got to see that firsthand. I mean, she was wonderful at managing her personal life as well as her professional life, and
Hmm.
keeping that distance, and also the way that she managed her own time in the different activities. So that was a very positive environment that I was absorbed into the company.
That sounds really fascinating. But as you said, the men in your company had the experience of working under the leadership of a woman. Was it always positive, your experiences with working with the men in your company? Was it always easy for you? For example, I was reading somewhere that there's always like a kind of club that men tend to make in these organizations, and it's very difficult for women to get into these clubs, so
Uh-huh.
to say. Do you have any experience that you would like to share regarding that, or how was it like overall?
Yeah, that's interesting, Fortunately, I've never myself felt, being discriminated based on my gender directly, because the people I have worked with directly, they have been really supportive. Even the current team that I am working with, they are extremely supportive. But yes, I have had experience with a lot of different kinds of people, and especially peers, my colleagues, they have had all kinds of experiences, and we share our experiences. So there would be one category of men, who tend to be overprotective. They will come and give you unsolicited advice, like, don't go alone over there, don't do this, don't do that, like the thing that you said, they'll treat you as their daughter. And there will be some kind of men, at the back of their mind, they're doubting your skill. They know that maybe you are not qualified enough to do this kind of job. Then, as everywhere else, there will be people who are over friendly. And yeah, when you talked about that club, I got a flashback. you know People who are from India, or who are conversant with the society, they know that the common joke with the men is, making fun of wives, and fun of women. So there are few kind of men who will openly joke about this fact that, women are not capable of doing anything, they should just stay at home, and they will have fun in these conversations. So since gender ratio is so skewed, sometimes they forget that, in their group there is one woman sitting somewhere in the corner, and it will like hit you sharply that this is not something that you should be joking about. So you don't want to be a part of that gang.
How do you deal with that? I mean,
Yeah,
when
you have
something
to
like
speak
that
up.
happens.
You have to speak up. Like, just the last day, they were joking about some, my wife makes me cook and all that. So the moment I stepped up and said that, what's wrong in, helping your wife in cook? Because once you start doing it, you will realize that she's not sitting idle at home all day. Then they were like, yeah, yeah, that's definitely true. We know that they are working very hard and it's very important. They're just proud of the fact that, I can't cook, and I'm,
Yeah.
this is immediately changed their topic. But
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
if you were not there, that would have been a completely different conversation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
So
probably it would go on for a very long time.
yeah, so another joke is that I was very surprised with the first time I heard it, but I then realized that it's a common concept among people here, that they're jealous of working women because, you are earning double. First time I was like, what?
What? Who is
So
earning
like a,
double?
Like,
so
you
double
are
income
earning as
family.
it is, yeah, you are a double
Ah,
income
okay.
too, because you have to realize the mentality of people here is very much driven by the scenario. So we are located in a remote area. So the only working women are the women who are working in the plant, because the other women are housewives, even if they are PhDs or doctors, because there are no employment opportunities. It's almost nil. It's really sad, but that's the truth.
I see.
So if you are working in the plant, and obviously your husband is also working in the plant, because otherwise it would have been difficult for you. So you are like earning double, and they're jealous of the fact that what are you doing with all this extra money, and it's just like you're getting things for free or something.
Extra money.
How is it extra? Like you're also working double. It's not like you're
Yeah.
working the
Yeah,
same time
exactly.
and you're earning more.
Yeah.
It's not like
It's
that.
not
It's
an
like
inheritance.
yeah.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Nini, because you keep mentioning that the sex ratio is quite skewed. Can you please quantify that? Like what kind of numbers are we looking at?
Yeah, so in the plant we have around 1,000 to 1,200 employees, out of which there are around 25 women And out of those
Wow.
25 there would be like 15 working in the plant and around 10 in the service departments.
That's quite a difference in
Yeah, and
the
that's kind
ratio.
of a good ratio in this sector in India. So you can imagine.
Wow. Okay. That's, oh man, that's a little sad. So, going back to what you were discussing before this, which is people consider things like, oh, it's a double income household, etc. Does it have a effect, negative or positive, on women who work in these sectors from their own personal life? I mean, you don't have to talk about your own, but other women who work with you, do they say that there is additional pressure from family to not continue this job, or is it like they have supportive households, and do they get time for themselves overall?
Yeah, so that's really important. I mean, when you talk about family, there's a little bit of difficulty that women have when you choose such a career. That's because of what I mentioned earlier. This is a very remote location job, and more or less all such companies are a bit away from cities. So that really challenge comes when you get to settle down and you plan to have a family, because the options are really limited. So it sounds funny, but it really is like you either choose from the options available in the same location, or you just give up on your career and you go to a city, you marry a guy there. And so, yeah, the women who are settled here, they are mostly married to somebody here. And there is a good work life balance, because until unless you are called for some emergencies, you have a fixed work timing, and since there is no traffic, you more or less reach home in time. And there are a lot of sports activities. I would like to know your experience too, in the sector that you are working.
That's a good question, because I was just going to ask Gogol about his experience, because he also works in like a male dominated industry. I don't, so I don't know how to answer that. But Gogol, you want to jump in here?
I don't really think that computer science or IT is a male dominated industry, at least not in India. I don't know why this is the case, but in Western countries, it is regarded as a male dominated industry, but in India, it isn't. I've always had more female colleagues than male, I think. So I do not really think it's a male dominated industry. But in the West, for some reason, I see that there are not many women in computer science for some reason, which is beyond my understanding at this time. But yeah, so how is it like? It's very difficult for me to say how it is like for those people who are joining the industry, but I can definitely say that must be quite challenging, because if you are going to the office and almost everyone is of the other sex, it's very difficult to have even a proper role model, so to say, because all our managers and bosses are male, and all the developers that we look up to, or even in the academic line of things, all the computer scientists that we look up to are mostly male. I don't know why that is. Yeah. So, speaking about more women in the workplace, how do you think that the women already in these male dominated industries, how these women could actually make it more lucrative for other women coming in, or more comfortable for other women coming in?
Yeah, that's really important because, being in such a location, and when you talk to your female colleagues, you realize that they are facing similar situations as you are. They are overcoming the same set of problems. So we tend to form close bonds and share our experiences. For example, few months back, I was invited to attend a conference on women in energy sector. There were women from different organizations, and they were in different stages in life. But when we discussed these common issues that we face in an everyday basis, we realized that we are not alone. We thought that these problems are, specific to ourselves, but they are not. When you discuss these problems, it really helps you come together and face them. Like, for example, I would like to mention one incident that when I first came here, it was a very basic problem that I faced was a lack of proper sanitation and washroom facilities. You see, because these industries, when they were constructed, it was around 20 years back. Maybe they were not constructed thinking of future women employees who would work.
Oh,
They were
wow.
not they were not developed in that way. But Gradually, when companies started hiring, for some reason they may not have thought of that aspect, because until unless you face it yourself, you really don't feel it. But when I spoke to the women already working, they were, shy to talk about it, that it is required. And some people had already tried and weren't successful in getting some positive reaction, so they just gave up. So I actually made a team of all the women, and I did a survey of
Wow.
what they faced. And when, as a collective, we put that towards the management, that in this locations it's required, because it's not there anywhere nearby. So they did take an action on that, and it was provided. So it matters. You just can't keep things to yourself, thinking that how can I talk about such a thing? It's your issue, you have to talk about it.
You're, of course, talking about your peers, right? This is, of course, very important. But on the other hand, how important do you think having a female role model is? Like, for example, the person you mentioned at the beginning of the show. How important do you
Yeah,
think being that person for
exactly.
new joinees coming in? How important do you think that person was in your life?
What I feel is the kind of environment I could work in. If I have to ensure that the young women who are joining the organization and who dream of reaching great heights, if I need to continue that environment, then I need to work in such a way that my actions speak for themselves. Because it is unfortunate, but being a woman, we are scrutinized on a daily basis, and we are judged more than our male counterparts. So you cannot back down from taking on tasks and challenges when you are supposed to. So you need to know the consequences of that your daily activities have on others' minds. For example, one of my juniors was told to speak on Women's Day, and she mentioned that she was inspired by the way I worked in field, because she was working with me for 2 years, and I was surprised because I didn't know the kind of effect my actions were having on others.
Right.
Another thing is, like, the impact that we are having in the society, creating a change in the society, because the kind of place that I am located right now, it's a very interior place in northern India. And for people who know, they would understand, in northern India, educating women and a career for women is still it's sad reality, but it's still not something that
Is very easy.
people, yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
something.
easy. It's not
Yeah.
all families are not thinking about that. So the workers we are working with, they are from the local villages. One day, one of them came up to me, and he wanted advice for his daughter, that he was getting her admitted in engineering. He was asking me what kind of stream would be good for her. It felt like somehow I was able to create an impact, because I know that it would have been a difficult decision for that person to think of
Yeah,
a future career for his daughter.
yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just like it kind of makes you feel how important our actions are, because we
Exactly.
tend to think about our own careers, our own responsibilities towards our family, towards ourselves, but we really think about what our actions do for other people, and that's really
Yeah,
inspiring. That's really yeah, it really makes you think about what perspectives in life, right?
Yeah, yeah. Like small changes making a big impact, basically.
exactly,
Exactly,
exactly.
yeah. It's like a butterfly effect. You just don't know what small things of yours can make a very big impact in other people's lives, I guess. So, this was a lovely conversation. My last question to you is, what advice would you give to, say, young women who are just starting off with their engineering, like you, looking towards joining the oil and gas industry or petrochemical industry, or in fact, any industry as such where there is a male dominance? What kind of advice would you like to give them?
Yeah, what I want to say to other women who are looking to pursue their career in this field, if you are interested, you should never back down. I mean, you need to keep challenging yourself, and there are so many good people, and all the experiences that you're going to have, it's just going to make you stronger, and you come out as a stronger person, and you have faced so many situations, the good, the bad, the wonderful. So you know it's definitely a great career for anybody. You need to come out and be the best version of yourself.
That's really good advice, Devanjana, and thank you for joining us. But this brings us to our last segment, which is we request our guests for any recommendations they have for our listeners. Do you have any?
This can be anything that you want to recommend to other people. It doesn't necessarily have to be something I've done like last week, but it can be anything that you want other people to know about.
So I've been recently watching a series on Netflix, and it's called Our Planet. It's something that has impacted the way I look at things and the way I look at life in general now. So I would really suggest all the listeners to go and watch it, because it's going to show you so much that you think you know but you really don't know. It's about the different kind of food chains and ecosystems that exist on our planet. Working in the industry that I am right now, I kind of have realized the effects that industrialization has on the environment around us. Like, for an example, we have this discharge water and effluents that we release into the environment. And when I drive out from the plant and I see the local villagers, using that water for their daily activities, I tend to have a realization of what impact this has on the lives of people around this plant. That series is great, and you realize the importance of a little small microorganism that you may not be able to see, the impact that that has on stability of everything else. It's just amazing, and I really want everybody to check it out.
This is the show which is narrated by David Attenborough, right? Is this the
Yeah,
same
yeah.
show? Okay, yeah. Cool. That's a very good recommendation. Having said that, this was a lovely episode. Thank you so much for being on the show. It was a pleasure talking to you about your experiences, because truly speaking, it's very difficult for me also, being in a privileged position. It's very difficult for me to understand what the other side of the coin looks like. So it was a very interesting and fascinating conversation, and hope that our listeners find it fascinating as well. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much. It was great talking to you guys.
You'll find our social media handles in the show notes. Please follow us, send us a DM. We love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions for future topics or something you would like us to change, we would love to know your thoughts.
See you next week. Ciao.
Bye.
Pretty hot and as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom,